Hello, my name is Adam Cott, and I'm the Rational Investor. I hope you're all having a good Friday and have good plans for the weekend. Today I'm going to talk about selling puts to get yourselves higher return on your investments. Last week I talked about selling calls, so I thought it would be a good follow up to that conversation. Selling puts to get into positions is another way of using options, is a great strategy to help your return on investment. So I'm not a financial planner. Please reach out to your financial planner for the financial decisions you make. I'm just sharing my information, and you guys have to make your own decisions on all of that. So, so a put is kind of the opposite of a call. I know that sounds confusing. So a call is a bet that people make about a stock going higher. A put is kind of like a bet that people make that a stock is going lower. If you buy a put, it gives you the right to sell a stock at a certain price. So Tesla closed today at $164 and change. I'll use Tesla as the example. If you owned Tesla and you were worried it might go lower, maybe you buy a put to protect your downside. Um, if the stock goes below that strike price, the one I looked at now was a June 2nd 150 put. If you bought the June 2nd 150 put to protect your position, if the stock fell below 150, it gives you the right to sell that stock at 150. So what I wanted to talk about is doing the opposite, to use that as an entrance ability into buying a stock. The way that I use puts is actually to get into a stock. I generally have a price where I'm willing to buy something. So let's say if it's Tesla and I'm willing to buy it at $150, instead of putting in an order to buy 100 shares at $150, well, I might sell the June 2nd 150 put. So since the person buying that for protection has the right to sell it at that price, what that means to the person who sells the put, if it gets below 150, you're forced to buy that put. Now it has to be below 150 on or after June, on or before, well, on June 2nd. The real risk in selling the put, if you really want to own the stock, is the possibility that it drops below 150 in May, but then by June 2nd, it's above 150. And while you got the premium for selling the put, you didn't end up buying the stock. And I'll explain that too as we go along. So the June 2nd 150 put closed at a $3.70 bid. So what I do if I wanted to buy Tesla and the price where I'm willing to buy it is 150, is I might sell that June 2nd put. When I do that, I get $370 for one option, which is the equivalent of 100 shares. I get to keep that $370 no matter what. So if Tesla never gets to my 150, well, I got paid for not buying the stock. And if I was only going to buy it at 150 anyway, well, at least I got something, and I still didn't buy the stock, just as I wouldn't have if it didn't get to 150, as I'm explaining. So let's say it does get below 150, I still get to keep that $370. If it closes June 2nd below 150, I just bought it at 150, which is where I was willing to anyway. It's a lot of words for that explanation. The nice thing is, let's use the first example of it didn't get to 150. Well, come June 2nd, I can reassess where the stock is, and if it's around where it is now, I can sell another put for another month out and continue to collect whatever it is that those options are paying, to continually put in those put options that would force me to purchase a stock at $150, which I'm willing to do anyway. I make sure I have enough money in the account that if I get filled on that put, that I don't have to come up with additional money. I don't recommend people buying on margin or taking undue risk. So $150, if I have $15,000 that I wanted to put in Tesla, well, at least I get paid $370 in the meantime to wait and see if I get filled on that order. And if I don't get filled, well, in my brain, it's like free money that I never would have had because the stock never got to 150. Again, the real risk in it is it drops to 145 by May 20th, May 25th, whatever it is, and then it goes right back up, and by June 2nd, it's at 155 again, and I didn't really buy the stock, I just got my $370. Now, let's say it plummets and it goes to 140. Well, either way, if I had put my bid in at $150 for 100 shares, I would have been filled on that. I get assigned the stock at 150 when it's trading 140, but I still get that additional $370 to help offset a little bit of the stock being lower than where my strike was. So I find it a really good tool for putting in, I don't want to say it bids, but that's how I think of it. Whether it's Tesla or Amazon or Microsoft or whatever stock it is that I want to buy, as long as I'm buying in lots of 100, I'd rather sell the put at the price where I'm trying to buy the stock and get paid in the meantime. Options are made up of many different increments that aren't just the stock price. So you collect time decay and you get the volatility and all the other things that are in the stock option. And what you're really doing is you're the seller of insurance. Most people buying puts are doing it to protect themselves on the downside if a stock corrects. Well, that's insurance on their mind. And I find the people who sell insurance generally do pretty well on it. And it's just a good way to get a little extra income on your trades. And then if I want to buy Tesla, now I own it, I don't worry about it. Or like I talked about in my other video, if I'm trying to trade it, maybe I turn around and sell calls against it. But I try not to do that too often because stocks can trend a direction for a long time. And I try to do that more with stocks I just want to own. I sell calls on other ones or to collect premium because the volatility is really good and things of that nature. Yeah, and I'll repeat, I'm not a financial planner, so you guys need to make your own decisions. But I hope that's an easy explanation of how puts work. If not, chime in. I'm happy to expand on it and give you some other instructions. If you have a specific stock that you're curious about or want to know what their puts are trading on at a certain strike price on a certain date, happy to look it up and give you an idea. Um, Hope you have a great weekend, and I hope you view the video. Have a good day.